So a big topic of conversation has been who will be playing the DCU version of Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, in Batman Brave and the Bold and in future movies. Especially on comic book Twitter, there's been a lot of discussion, a lot of hate towards a certain actor. As you saw on the thumbnail, it's Brandon Sklenar. You may know him from the show 1923, I think is the name of the show. But he's probably been the most fan-casted actor to, play Batman. He's been manifesting this, secretly in the internet for the last couple of months. A lot of discussion towards him playing Batman. And I just want to give my opinion on this casting, if whether I think it's a good thing or it isn't, and if I could see Brandon take the role of Batman in the future of the DCU. Batman the Brave and the Bold. This is probably going to be the first appearance of Batman. I could see Batman appearing at the end of Clayface, maybe in a post-credit scene or something, but Clayface has been said to be taking place, I think, in LA or in New York, so maybe we won't see any version of Batman in that movie. It's fair to assume, at least like a tease, and it comes out next year. The first big Batman movie will be Batman the Brave and the Bold, which will follow Batman and Damian Wayne, his son. Basically like a version of Son of Batman, but in live action. Probably gonna get like League of Shadows, Ra's al Ghul, Talia al Ghul, probably Nightwing. The biggest topic of discussion with that movie has been who will be playing the main DCU Batman. James Gunn asking for multiple times that this version of Batman has been Batman for about 10 years. So it is fair to assume that they're going to choose an actor that's around the same age as David Cornsweet, if not a bit older. But I think they're going to go the older route because he's already going to have Damian. It's fair to assume that this Batman will have like 35 to 40 years old. Will be 35 to 40. But the biggest fan cast that we've seen so far is Brandon Sklenar. As I said before, he's been in the show 1923. I personally haven't seen anything of him. Personally, I haven't seen like any movie or show he's been in. So I don't know his acting range, how good he is and stuff. I've only seen interviews of him, from people manifesting this casting. And the biggest thing I can say is that visually, he could pull off a Batman. I think visually he could. He's got the physique. As we saw in Creature Commandos, this Batman will be a lot more bulkier than Robert Pattinson's version. So I think Brendan could pull that off because there's multiple photos of him showing his physique and he is jacked. So he could definitely pull off the physicality part. The voice part is also something that I really could see. He really sounds like Roger Craig Smith, who voiced Batman in Batman Arkham Origins and Batman Arkham Shadow, the VR game. Brandon is also 35 years old, so he could pull off that part of Batman, he will be a bit older. And Brave and the Bold will only start shooting next year, if not 2027. So he'll be like 36, 37 by the time that movie starts filming. His height is said to be 6'2". That also checks out. I want to see a Batman that's just a tad bit shorter than Superman. I think that's just the way to go. But the biggest topic of conversation around this casting has been this video of him talking about what he would do in his own specific take of Batman. So check that out.
Well, I'd make it my own for sure. More true to the comic. I love Christian's version's probably my favorite version of Batman. But I'd want him to see, lean more into Bruce Wayne being Bruce Wayne, how he's in the comics. Yeah. And then make Batman as dark as possible.
In this video, he mentions how he would do Batman and his own take, especially for the DCU if he got the chance to do it. And he mentions that he wants to stick more true to the comics. This is probably in relation to Robert Pattinson's version, which is a lot more grounded version of Batman, but it's still more comic accurate than previous version because of the whole detective thing, which is a thing we haven't seen before a lot in the movie, Batman being an actual detective. But he means he wants to be, as he mentions in the video, the more playboy, charismatic Bruce Wayne and make Batman just as dark as possible, which I don't think is the best way to go with DCU Batman, make just as dark as possible, since he is now, being introduced to a Bat family in the DCU. There's been a lot of hate towards this video, saying that he doesn't know anything about Batman, he's only doing this for clout, and that he's only saying surface level stuff about the character and what he wants to do with it, saying he doesn't know comics, etc. But that's a stupid argument. Let's see. I don't want to throw shade at this specific person, but not hating. Just an example. But David Cornsweet, who's our most recent Superman in the DCU as well, he made a couple interviews, long before he was cast, where he said stuff that's surface level about Superman. and he said a lot of similar stuff that's a lot really similar to what Brendan said about Batman in that video. And I quote, "But my pie in the sky ambition is to definitely play Superman. I would love to see somebody do an upbeat throwback take on Superman. I love the Henry Cavill dark and gritty take, but I would love to see the next one be very bright and optimistic." See, that's also the surface level stuff that Brendan was basically talking about in that video, and that's normal. Not every actor is like a mega nerd like us, knowing everything about these characters before they are cast. That happens multiple times where an actor doesn't know much about the character besides surface level stuff, and once they get cast, you do tons of research for the role, and then learn a lot more about the character. That's normal. That's a normal thing to happen. So complaining about that is just stupid. And then there's also the people that say that his face does not look but like Bruce Wayne, and that's also a stupid argument. They normally pull up pictures that are like 5+ years old of him without a mustache, and that's just stupid. His face has changed a lot over the years. He's normally seen using having a stubble and a mustache, and that suits his face very well. But his face has gotten a lot wider over the years. His jawline has been getting sharper. So that's just a stupid argument to pull photos from 5+ years ago to prove that he doesn't look like Bruce Wayne. And that's also stupid, because what do you mean he doesn't look like Bruce Wayne? There's so many iterations of Bruce Wayne by many different artists. So complaining that he doesn't look like Bruce Wayne is very stupid. But then there's also the people that want Robert Pattinson to be the DCU Batman. I think I could make a different video on this, but I'm not sure. But I don't want that to happen. I'm gonna be honest. I think a big part of the whole Elseworlds thing that DC is doing is that you can have movies set in different universes and not be connected to one another. Remember the good old days when there were just movies that were made to look good, just great superhero movies that didn't have the need to be connected to anything. That's what the Batman was, literally. Even though it started off in a whole universe with the Penguin show, it was never meant to be connected to any other thing in the DC universe, such as Superman or the DCU. It's still possible, but I hope it doesn't happen because of how grounded this version of Batman is. And the DCU Batman has been said to be a lot more fantastical, like in most of the comics, Batman comics, Clayface, and other things like that. Just as we said before about Brave and the Bold, it will be about Batman, Damian Wayne, and the League of Assassins. Even though I think that could happen in the Reeves universe, I don't think it's likely. Something so fantastic like a Lazarus Pit. I don't think that could happen in such a grounded universe, so I personally don't want it to happen. But Brandon, I don't think he'd be a bad choice for Batman. I think there are better actors that could suit the role, but I don't have any on the top of my head right now. If he were to get cast, I wouldn't be opposed to it. But it's just stupid seeing the complaints that people are saying just for him to not get cast in a role, which is stupid. Just stupid. He obviously wants to play Batman. That's like a dream role for basically everyone. If he were to get the role, I wouldn't be mad at that at all. So yeah. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you subscribe, leave a like, and comment below what you think of this casting, fan casting, and who would you like to see as the DCU Batman. I'm George. Peace out. Take care.